rent is too high, bro. There's no way you gotta be paying $2,500 for a 2-bedroom, $3,000 for a 1-bedroom. They'll be like, oh, it's about location. It's about this. It's about that. Well, if I'm paying all that much, everything in this house better be touchscreen. I better have a robot in here. You know what I'm saying? Because even if you make decent money, I feel like you should be able to cover your expenses with like one check and still have money left over. But no, not with these prices. You're gonna have to stack up checks, and then you better hope you don't get sick, because if you miss a week, you outside in the cold. Like, it is crazy, bro. Rent is crazy.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into a hot topic, rising rents and who's really to blame. From landlords to big corporations to government policies, there's a lot of finger pointing going on. But what's the real story? Stay tuned as we break it down and explore the factors driving up rental prices and who's benefiting or losing from it.
I hate to say it, I know a lot of younger generations don't want to be mortgage prisoners. But when interest rates do come down and it becomes more and more affordable to buy your own home again, do you really want to keep on putting your hard-earned money into a greedy landlord's pocket?
So, you've probably noticed it. Rent keeps going up, right? And not just by a couple bucks. No, we're talking $200, $300, or even more each month. Now, before you start thinking this is just some isolated incident, let me tell you, it's happening all over the country. But the real question is, why? Why are rents going up so fast when so many of us can barely afford to live in the first place?
You are itching to leave your mama house? This is not the economy, okay? And I'm gonna tell you because I have rent, right? I'm in Houston, Texas. It's $1,800 for a 2-bedroom. I do have a roommate because, yeah. Anyways, we just got a renewal offer. Do you want to know what the renewal offer is? Let me remind you, currently pay $1,800. It really is about $2,000 when we come up to like the fees. Because there's fees, y'all. The renewal for a 12-month lease is $2,516. And let's say we forgot to write the 60-day prior notice if we decide to leave, they will bring the rental rate to $2,939. Stay home, okay? Stay home, stack your coins.
Well, here's where it gets juicy. A lot of these rent hikes aren't because the landlord needs to cover costs like repairs or taxes. Nope, they're trying to line their pockets with more cash, plain and simple.
I'm nearly 27 years old, and today I am moving back in with my parents. This is not the plan I had for 27-year-old me, but that is just how bad the rental crisis is at the moment. I've been living on my own for the last 3 years. When I first started living on my own, I was paying $280 a week in rent. It was actually kind of fine to pay rent on my own, and I've never had like an outstanding salary. The reason why I'm moving back in with my parents is because my landlord wanted to increase my rent now to $450 a week. Now, I live in a small 1-bedroom apartment in an old building. It's nothing flash. Sure, I live in a good suburb. I live in Malvern. I'm probably just paying for location, but I have to pay to do my laundry. There's cracks in the walls. Like, it's nothing flashy. Like, it's not worth $450 a week. That's like $2,000 a month. What are people supposed to do? I'm so lucky and I'm so grateful that I can move back in with my parents, but not everyone can do that. So what's your alternative? Like, you're homeless? The thing that really grinds my gears is that I am 99% sure that my landlord does not have a mortgage on this place, so that can't even be an excuse for landlords on here. She's owned this place since about 1980, and I know for a fact she has 2 investment properties. So she's just making money off what she can from the market. And I was like, there is no way I can afford this. And I have been an outstanding tenant, like outstanding. Rent's never been late. My inspections are always absolutely spotless. I've never caused any issues. And this is why my generation can't get ahead, why we can't buy houses. Like, I've been paying 20 grand a year in rent. But if I went to go get a house loan, they wouldn't see that as, oh, she can pay 20 grand a year. No, I have no savings because of how much I've been paying in rent and bills. That's why my parents were like, move home, you know, save that money and try and get ahead. And I'm so grateful. I love my family, and I don't have any issues moving back home with them. I do have an issue with the fact that they live over the other side of Geelong and I'm still going to be traveling to Melbourne for work. So that's going to be so much fun. But what do people do? I'm so lucky I have such a great family that I can move back in with. But what's the alternative? Homelessness? Like, the government really needs to get on top of this because, honestly, the state of the rental market at the moment is absolutely fucked.
And let's talk about who's pulling these strings. Sure, some landlords are regular folks just trying to make a living, but a lot of these rent hikes are coming from huge corporate landlords and private equity firms who don't care about you. They care about profits.
Doesn't it seem a little bit odd that while a winning campaign message would be, we're not going to allow corporations, hedge funds, large conglomerates to buy single-family homes, that those are going to be reserved for Americans? Doesn't it seem odd that that winning message is not being said by anybody on either side? Is it because, they're bought and paid for by those corporations?
These companies own entire apartment buildings, sometimes entire neighborhoods, and they're not afraid to squeeze tenants for every penny they can. They raise rents because they know most people don't have other options. The result? Families are getting forced out, evicted, or stuck in places they can't afford. And the best part? They're really good at justifying these hikes. They'll say things like, we need to cover maintenance costs, or the market is just changing, it's out of our control. But when you look closer, a lot of these places aren't even being maintained properly.
So my neighbor put a sign on her door saying that she was refusing to pay rent and that management should contact her. And that was up for a couple of days. And then yesterday, maintenance was in her apartment literally all day. And I know that because it was my day off and I literally didn't leave my house all day. And I mean, they showed up at 9 a.m. and did not leave until like 3 or 4 in the afternoon. So my personal theory is that there was something really broken or really wrong with her apartment. She asked for them to fix it. We can either do it online or we can call. They either ignored her or did not do it. So she chose to withhold rent. And I'm not going to go and ask her about it because that's absolutely horrifying. But personally, that's what I think happened. But we'll see if she like suddenly moves out or anything.
Out of the shower, can I tell you what the greedy underlords of rental companies have done today? So y'all know I love my apartment. I just got my lease renewal. First of all, it's going up $150, which is, I think, a lot, but it's still a good deal. However, what I have to pay for now that I've never had to pay for the last year and a half is water. I've never had to pay towards the water bill. It's been included in my rent. Now it's going to be $30 a month no matter what. So they came out to do inspections yesterday. And I'm always really nice to the people when they come, so I was talking to him, but he was only going in the bathroom and the kitchen to like inspect the pipes. I went to get a shower today. Why was there barely enough water pressure to wash my hair? I've always had great water pressure. So not only are they going to be charging me $30 a month, no matter how much water I use, they also took all of my water pressure away so that technically I'll be using less water. Ain't that some bullshit? Anyway, I'm putting in a maintenance request, see if somebody can come make it better again.
According to the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, HUD, more than 50% of renters spend over 30% of their income on housing, which is considered a cost-burdened situation. Rent control could help, but it's limited. Rent control laws, which limit how much a landlord can raise rents, exist in some cities, but only 2% of rental units in the U.S. are protected by rent control, leaving the vast majority of renters vulnerable.
Stop telling people if they just manage their money better, they'll be able to afford things. An apartment that used to cost $310 should cost about $850 due to inflation, and it's like $1,600. So depressed wages and greedy landlords can't be fixed by managing your money better when you're not getting paid enough and being overcharged. So stop saying that.
Renters have little bargaining power. Unlike homeowners, renters have very few ways to negotiate with landlords. In a market where demand outpaces supply, landlords can simply raise rents knowing that tenants have few alternatives. According to the National Low-Income Housing Coalition, there is a shortage of 7 million affordable rental units for low-income renters in the U.S.
The fact that I'm extremely struggling to pay my rent every month, you know how I realize that it's really, really bad out here? I live in the hood, okay? I live in the hood. The hood. Garbage everywhere. People's dogs not tied up. Pit bulls running around. Litter, dog poo. People riding bikes. Women of the night down the block. Like, I've been living here for a year and a half. And when I first moved in, it was 100% black. Like, 100% black people. And now, I was just walking my dog and this white guy was like, to me, dead ass. Now, all of a sudden, I've seen at least 4 of the apartments taken by white people. And this is like the cheapest spot in town. Also, some Hispanics have moved in as well. Like, when I first moved in here, there was a white girl that lived here. But I feel like when I realized everything changed, when I seen white men moving in here, I was like, oh shit, it's bad out there. It's bad. And I'm actually scared, guys, for my lease being up in January. I'm very scared. I'm very scared for what's going on.
Things are getting bad out there. So, what happens to all of us who can't keep up with these insane rent prices? Well, people start moving further and further away from their jobs, families, and friends. You get more people living in overcrowded apartments, stretched thin just trying to make rent. And honestly, it's not sustainable. So, what do you think? Are greedy landlords taking advantage of renters like you? Or do you think the rent hikes are justified? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear your perspective. And if you're tired of getting screwed over by high rent, make sure to share this video with your friends because we've got to get the word out and start fighting back against these corporate landlords. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.